I didn't plan to meet her that day. It was one of those slow evenings where everything feels a little too quiet. I had gone to a small independent bookstore cafe, one of those places where people pretend to read, but mostly just sit with their thoughts. I wasn't even reading. The book in front of me hadn't been turned in over 20 minutes. I just didn't feel like going home. Loneliness has a strange way of showing up. It doesn't always feel heavy. Sometimes it just feels empty, like something's missing, but you can't name it. That's when I noticed her. She was standing near the travel section, holding a book she didn't seem very interested in. She kept flipping pages, not reading, just thinking. Her hair was tied loosely, and she had this calm, almost distant expression. She looked like someone who had somewhere else to be, but chose not to go. I don't know why, but I kept looking. Eventually, she walked toward the cafe counter, and the barista got her order wrong. It wasn't a big deal, but she smiled anyway and said, "It's fine," even though it clearly wasn't what she wanted. That small moment stayed with me. A few minutes later, she ended up sitting at the table right next to mine, close enough that I could hear the faint tapping of her fingers against the cup. I wasn't planning to say anything, but she dropped her pen. It rolled onto my chair. I picked it up and handed it to her. "You dropped this." She looked up, smiled slightly. "Thanks. I do that a lot." Dropping things or pretending it's not annoying? I asked. She laughed softly. "Both." That was it. Nothing dramatic. No spark you could see. Just ease. We started talking. Not about anything important, just random things. Books we hadn't read, places we hadn't visited, plans we weren't sure about. Her name was Aisha. She was 25. I was 27, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel like I had to pretend to be interesting. Time moved quietly. Neither of us noticed how long we'd been there. When she finally checked her phone, she looked surprised. "I should probably go." "Yeah, same," I said, even though I didn't mean it. There was a pause, the kind where both people are deciding whether this is where it ends. Then she said, "I come here sometimes." Not an invitation. Not really, but not nothing either. I nodded. "Me too." We didn't exchange numbers. We didn't plan anything. But as she walked away, I realized something had shifted. For the first time in a while, I was curious about what might happen next. I saw her again 2 days later. Same place. Same time. This time, she smiled first. "Guess we both come here sometimes," she said. "Looks like it." That became our thing. We never planned it. We just kept showing up. First moment, we started sharing a table. Not because we had to, but because it felt natural. We'd sit across from each other, sometimes talking, sometimes just doing our own thing. Comfort came quietly. Second moment, one evening, it started raining heavily. The kind that traps you inside longer than you planned. We stayed, talking about random childhood memories. She told me how she used to rearrange her room every few months because she liked the feeling of something changing. I told her I hadn't changed my room in years. "Maybe that's the problem," she said. "Maybe," I replied. Third moment, we walked outside together after closing time. The streets were still wet, reflecting the streetlights. We didn't hold hands, but we walked close enough that it almost felt like we were. That night, she said something different. "I don't usually talk to people like this," she admitted. "Like what?" "Like it matters." I didn't know what to say to that, so I just nodded. That was her vulnerable moment, and something shifted again. After that, routines formed without discussion. Morning texts started appearing. "Are you going today?" "Yeah." "You?" "Of course." We started ordering the same drinks, sitting at the same table. It became familiar, safe. But even in those early days, there was a small difference. She talked about change like it was necessary. I talked about stability like it was enough. It didn't matter then. Not yet. It started with a simple conversation. We were sitting in our usual spot when she mentioned applying for a job in another city. "Just thinking about it," she said. "Oh," I replied. "You'd actually move?" She shrugged. "Yeah, why not?" I didn't answer right away. Because for me, why not wasn't simple. My life was here. My job. My routine. Everything I had built, even if it wasn't perfect. "Seems like a lot," I said. "It is," she replied. "But staying feels like more." That stayed with me. After that, I started noticing things. The way she talked about the future, it was always moving. The way I talked about it, it was always staying. We didn't argue. We didn't even disagree loudly. But there were pauses. Longer ones. Sometimes we'd sit together and not talk as much. Not because we didn't want to, but because we didn't know what to say. I started overthinking everything. Was this temporary? Was I just part of a phase in her life? She still smiled, still showed up, but something felt quieter. The job offer came faster than expected. She told me one evening, standing outside the cafe. I got it. I smiled. That's great. She nodded, but didn't look fully happy. It's in another city, she said, unnecessarily. I figured. There was a pause. Cars passed. People walked by. Everything felt normal except us. When would you go? I asked. A month. That hit harder than I expected. That's soon. Yeah. We stood there, not looking at each other. I think I have to do it, she said. I know, I replied. We both did. That's what made it harder. No one was wrong. No one was stopping anyone. But something was ending. We didn't say it out loud. We just stood there, carrying the weight of it. Things didn't change immediately. At least, not on the surface. We still met. Still talked. But the energy was different. Texts became shorter. Hey. Busy today. Kind of. Calls were missed. Replies delayed. Not intentionally. Just gradually. One evening, we tried to act normal. We went back to the cafe, sat at our usual table, ordered the same drinks. For a moment, it almost felt like before. She laughed at something small. I smiled, but it didn't last, because both of us knew this wasn't routine anymore. It was countdown. That night, after she left, I typed a message. Do you think we're pretending everything's fine? I stared at it for a long time. Then I deleted it. Some things are easier unsaid. We didn't plan the conversation. It just happened. We were sitting on a park bench a few days before she was supposed to leave. The air was quiet. No rush. No pressure. Just time. I've been thinking, she said. Me too. She looked down at her hands. I don't want to do this halfway. I nodded. Neither do I. There was a long pause. I wish the timing was different, she said softly. Yeah. Because what we have, it's real. I know. That was the hardest part. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't something broken. It just didn't fit the moment. I don't want to ask you to stay, I said. And I don't want you to, she replied. We both smiled faintly, sad but understanding. I think we'd end up resenting each other if we tried to force it, she added. Probably. Silence again. Then she looked at me. Can we let this be something good? I swallowed. Yeah. We sat there a little longer. Not touching. Not moving. Just being. Finally, she stood up. I should go. Yeah. She hesitated. Then she said quietly, I'm really glad I met you. I nodded. Me too. And just like that, it ended. Time didn't fix everything, but it helped me understand it. Weeks turned into months. The cafe felt different without her. Eventually, I stopped going as often. Not because I was avoiding it, just because it didn't feel the same. I started changing small things. Rearranged my room. Tried new places. Met new people. Not to replace her, but to move forward. That's the thing about a romantic breakup story like ours. It wasn't about losing someone. It was about accepting that love isn't always enough. It was a realistic love story. A mature breakup. The kind where no one hurts you on purpose. The kind where you still care, even as you let go. I thought about her sometimes. Wondered if she was happy. If she found what she was looking for. I hope she did. Because she taught me something important. That sometimes it's not about finding the perfect person. It's about finding them at the right time. And we didn't. We were just right person, wrong time. And maybe that's okay. Because not all love is meant to last forever. Some of it is meant to change you and then let you go. Final line. We didn't fail. We just met each other at a moment life refused to pause.